Yo, what up my body shop bots? So we're going over another must-have PvP build as a hazard protection SMG build. It's got 90% hazard protection and it just protects you from all the skill bots, all the pissed off players that are instantly change the skill builds as soon as they've got kills. And as you can see from the footage, it does damn good damage. This build is a must-have in your PvP arsenal, especially the way the DZ is at the moment. You can run it with Unbreakable or Intimidate. Usually I start with Unbreakable. As soon as my Unbreakable is procced, I'll do a little chest swap, change to Intimidate. Either way it works, either with Intimidate or Unbreakable. Yeah, it's just an awesome little build and a must-have. Sticky bombs will just bounce off you, not touch you barely at all. Highs will do nothing. Seekers will not even touch you, barely. Except for the base damage on the skills, but apart from that, no status effects are going to really touch you. This build's OP. It's an amazing little hazard build. So enjoy the footage, and then we'll get on with the build.
Agent down. Manhunt initiated. Nearby rogue agent killed. Now detecting contaminated gear. Rogue Stinger Hive detected.
Ну и чё ты, блядь? Да ладно.
Да, надо было, блядь.
Надо, я дурака свалял, надо мне издалека было уебать этим самым.
Захожу. Забрали меня.
Вижу. Трое все-таки, я думаю, двое.
Spot, Junge, ja, komm, geh, sammelt spielen, du Spot.
Das Problem, warum hölzt du denn da gleich rum?
Oh,
Sticky,
alles
wenn ich Bock habe,
alles.
hab ich Bock auf
I've got a cut in here. This is what the build's about. Look at that Sticky. It's literally done nothing. What, like a bar of armor? It literally just bounced off. And I can carry on fighting, get back in the fight, happy days. Skill bot deleted. Fuck off, mate. And his hive, it barely touched me. Because you've got adrenaline rush and that hazard protection, you just OP to these little skill bots. They have to change back to their gun builds. So yeah, hazard build, pretty straightforward really. 2 pieces of Seska, 1 piece of Yol, 2 pieces of Sokolov, and a piece of Grupo. Running the Lady Death and whatever secondary you want really. It's a pretty straightforward build. Pieces are a bit difficult to find, but it's the same as any build in this game really. You've got to find it with the right rolls on it to be able to then roll armour onto it. 1.5 million armour and above is the ideal armour figure to go for. Any lower and you're still going to get melted by the skills. Even though it's got 90% hazard, the base damage on the skills will still wreck the fuck out of you. But yeah, so 1.5 million armour and above, and you're laughing really. With the 90% hazard that's on this build, the skills are barely going to touch you and you can just wipe them skill bots easy. So from a mask, I've got a Seska. I've rolled 170 armour on it. I've got 12% crit hit damage, 10% hazard protection, and a 12% crit damage mod. From a bag, I've got another piece of Seska. The 2 piece gives you 10% hazard protection. The 1 piece gives you the 10% crit hit chance that most of you probably already know. I've got 15% weapon damage on it, 10% hazard protection, 12% crit hit damage, and another 12% crit hit damage mod. The talent I'm running is Adrenaline Rush. Whenever you are within 10 meters of an enemy, gain 10% bonus armor for 5 seconds, stacks up to 3 times. And that's cooldown every 5 seconds. So basically, if you've got 2 or 3 players around you, you're getting little bonus armor. It's OP. It's an awesome talent to be able to stay alive. At some points, you've got 30% extra armor every 5 seconds, which is like 500k armor. Yeah, awesome talent. And good for fighting these fucking skill builds. So from a chest, I've got a Yule chest, 170k armour, 12% crit hit damage, 10% hazard protection, and 11.7 crit hit damage mod. The talent is Unbreakable. You can run this with Intimidate to give you extra damage, but if I'm honest, it seems to work better with Unbreakable on. I have got two of the same builds. Sometimes I run it with Intimidate, sometimes I run it with Unbreakable, but most of the time these skill builds are going to be glass cannon. They're going to be weak as shit. So even without Intimidate, you're still going to melt them quick as hell with the Lady Death. And the Unbreakable just gives you that extra little bit of armour. That bit of security basically, because skills still wreck because of that base damage. So yeah, ideally Unbreakable. The talent for that is when your armour is depleted, repairs 50% of your armour, cooldown every 50 seconds I think it is. Yeah, awesome talent. So for my gloves, I've got a Sokolov Concern gloves, 15% weapon damage, 12% crit hit damage and 10% hazard protection. I've got two pieces of Sokolov in the build, so I'm getting 10% SMG damage and 15% crit hit damage from the two piece. So for my holster, I've got a group of Somber holster. The one piece gives me an extra 15% crit hit damage, which with an SMG build, that's what you want really. I've rolled 170k armour on it. It's got 10% hazard protection and 12% crit hit damage. You obviously want to find a couple of pieces that you can roll the armour onto it. The Yule obviously comes with the armour already, and get yourself up to 1.5 million armour. And for my knee pads, I've got my second piece of Sokolov. Once again, I've rolled 170k armour onto it. I've got 10% hazard protection and 12% crit hit damage. That's basically what you're trying to look for, is every single piece has got hazard protection and crit hit damage on. It's hard to find, but look out for them. And for my primary, I've got the motherfucking Lady Death. This gun's OP. It will melt the skill builds quick as hell. Obviously, because we're having to put hazard build all over the build, we're low on crit hit chance. You can't really run an AR. But also the amplified damage from the Lady Death will just absolutely melt and get the skill builds out of there. You also then get the speed buff after you've got the kill onto the next skill build, onto the next, and just melt them. Eventually they'll have to change from the skill build if you're running this build, and they'll finally go back to using a gun again, which they will hate because obviously they love their one button PvP. So the talent on this Lady Death, when moving, gain 4 stacks per second or 8 while running, up to 32 stacks. Each round fired consumes a stack, amplifying damage by 75%. It's actually 60% in PvP. Kills grant 20% movement speed for 10 seconds. Happy days. So keep strafing about, build up the stacks, unload the clip, strafe about, build up the stacks, unload the clip. It's as easy as that. This gun's OP, and it's the best SMG on the game in my opinion. So for my secondary, I'm running a FAL. I've got in sync on this one. It's got 15% assault rifle damage, the health damage, and 10% damage to targets out of cover. Always have a gun with damage to targets out of cover. It's better than the damage to armour. Bigger figure, better in my opinion. Obviously I've got in sync on this. Hopefully you know what in sync does by now. Pull out your shield, start shooting the enemy. You've got 30% damage basically. You can also use it with a bleed hive and other bits and pieces. You can also run it with a Ranger FAL. I love Ranger just because you can beam the skill builds at range. It's an undervalued talent. Not a lot of PvPers use it. They'd rather go for Optimist and whatever because they normally run double FAMAS, but Ranger on the FAL is OP. But really, it doesn't matter what you run in the secondary slot. Most of the time, you're going to be running around with your OP Lady Death and just melting, getting the speed buffs, keeping your stacks up. Happy days. It's PvP, so as usual, for my pistol, I'm running an Orbit. Don't bother running a purple pistol. I don't know how many times I can say this. You're losing out on an amazing talent, and that's perfect finisher. You get your pistol out, you pop an NPC in the head, and you swap back to your weapon, and you're getting 35% extra crit hit chance and 40% crit hit damage, which will take you over the crit hit chance cap of 60%, or take you up to it, and it will also give you an extra 40% crit hit damage, which on this build, you're getting like 227% crit hit damage if you proc this talent. It's OP. Players will be screaming cheat, etc. It's just amazing. Don't run a purple pistol, don't be a twat, don't miss out on this amazing talent. So on this build, I've got 50.5% crit hit chance on my SMG, 187.7% crit hit damage, 70% headshot damage, which is pretty standard, and 6% damage to armour from the attribute on the Lady Death. There's 20% reload bonus, accuracy, stability, etc, etc. It's pretty standard stuff at the bottom. On the build, I've got 40% all weapon damage, 39.8% submachine gun damage, 15% assault rifle damage, and 15% marksman rifle damage. So this is what the build's about. The hazard protection. You've got 90% hazard protection, which gives you 90% bleed resistance, 90% blind and death resistance, 90% burn resistance, 90% disorient resistance, 90% ensnare resistance, disrupt resistance, poison resistance, shock resistance. You're resistant to every single status effect. The sticky bomb will hit you and barely touch you. Now it's PvP, so as usual, striker shield. You get your damage bonus per enemy. It's just OP. Everyone's running a shield. I can't say not to. It's as easy as that. Everyone else is running it, so you might as well run it. You can though, seeing if everyone you're fighting is running skill builds, which at point if you're fighting servers, 5 or 6 of the players will probably be running skill builds. You might as well take the shield off and go for a booster hive. That way you're just running around, running and gunning, melting. You don't really need the shield because you're just trying to get up onto them as quick as possible. Happy days. For my secondary, I'm running a pulse. I love this skill. I can see where they are. I can plan where I'm going. I can see where the little skill bots are sat in cover. Just literally pulse, see where they are, plan where you're going next. So yeah, other skills that work well with this build. Jammer pulse, obviously knock out their skills. It's not as important because you've got 90% hazard anyway. You can obviously stack up with other skills. A decoy is awesome. You can drop a decoy, sneak up on the low IQ players. They're probably stuck in cover. Drop a decoy, get up and around them, melt them, get them out of the game basically. Also, EMP sticky, stagger them, melt them, disable their skills as well. It's an awesome little skill to use as well. Me personally, most of the time I'll run a shield and a booster and then the pulse. That's the best way to run it, I feel. But yeah, the sticky bomb EMP is sick as well. So the specialization that I'm running on this build is firewall. This was built for PvP. Everything on it is orientated for PvP. You've got the OP medkit that gives you 200% armor over 10 seconds. You've got the striker shield that's just OP when you're fighting groups. And you've got the passive talent which gives your allies 10% damage. They're within 10 meters of you. It's just OP. Everything is made for PvP in this skill tier. I've also got 15% SMG damage, 15% assault rifle damage, and 15% marksman rifle damage. I do sometimes change that to 15% shotgun damage, depending if I can be asked to go back to the White House, just to be able to put a shotgun on, because a shotgun on this build will one-tap glass cannon builds, so it makes it pretty OP as well. But yeah, that's the specialization really. Everything else is pretty basic and self-explanatory. So yeah, that's it peeps. Thanks for watching another build video. As I've said before, I'm just going to show you the must-have builds in PvP. Other content creators have probably done it before. I don't really know. Just check the other content creators, look at the builds, get some help. It's pretty straightforward. Once you learn to put what piece in what place, it's pretty easy. The hardest part is finding the rolls and then putting the armor on. But yeah, anyway, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Until next time, laters.